Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. And I want to say shalom to your brothers and sisters out there that are pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. And I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one Prologue, and then the destruction of Babylon, right? Or it might be a bonus essential, right? Because this is really dealing with this is like the prologue, okay? Of, I probably will just call it Prologue, the destruction of Babylon. Just, some thoughts, rambling some thoughts off, grabbing some scriptures about it, as, soon, Lord willing, probably most likely tomorrow, or the next day, depending on how the Spirit goes. I'm going to start up on the destruction of Babylon being the seventh and final topic for this chapter of the 7 Essentials for New Believers in the Truth. And then, of course, I have another one in the works. I still am doing that. So, like I said, if I can keep that series rolling, I'm going to keep it rolling. At this point, it's just the names that is the hardest part. Not necessarily getting the scriptures. It's defining the name, what to call it, because it was 7 essentials and it was 7 more essentials. I don't know. I guess it would be 7, even 7 more. I can't remember what the other one was called. 7 additional, something like that. And if we can continue going, I don't know what I'm going to call it. A whopping 7 more. But, yeah, so like I said, that one, Lord willing, is in the works. And then, Lord willing, either today or tomorrow, Lord willing, live and well to do so, and the Spirit's on me to do so. We'll be working on getting the destruction of Babylon rolling, and that, like I said, that's probably going to be at least a 2-part lesson by itself. All right, and then that's going to finish up that version of the series. But I want to do a prologue. All right, thoughts and some scriptures going into it. About the end. All right, so. And we're going to explain the end coming, but right now it's just, you should know, from some of the scriptures that we've got about already, right, that the topic of the end, all right, is something that is frequented in the Bible. All right, you'll hear the brothers talk about it a lot. It's one of the biggest things that we prophesy right now is about, the end, about judgment, about the, destruction of this nation known as America. All right, that biblically is known as, Babylon. And you say, oh, Babylon was just, well, that's old Babylon. This is new Babylon. All right, it's new Babylon, and it also has multiple different names, such as spiritual Egypt. All right, it's also known to be akin to spiritual Sodom. All right, spiritual Sodom, spiritual Egypt. And, this is a place that's filled with vile wickedness, unlike any other place in the world. Okay, you can go to the UK, you can go to anywhere, whether it's England, whether it's Ireland, whether it's Scotland, all right, whether it's, the Island of Man, whether it's Wales, or anywhere, and they're not going to have, they do have wickedness, they're Edomites at the end of the day, okay, but the wickedness is, it's different. Okay, and it's something that really you'd have to, and, the brothers and sisters that are, abroad, all right, they can see it, but when you're here, man, when you're here in Babylon, the daily life and the shit that you got to deal with and the things that you see and the Babylonianized Americans and dealing with Americans on a regular basis in their where you brothers and sisters in other countries, you see Edomites. These Edomites out here are a different breed. All right, they're, 10 times, all right, more unintelligent, okay, and 10 times being more, is just being generous, all right, 1,000 times, all right, less intelligent, okay. Now, these Edomites out here, an Edomite out here is 1,000 times less intelligent than a British Edomite, okay, and I stand by that, okay. I've had many Edomites, British Edomite friends in the past, all right, before I came in this truth, and the way they talked, it wasn't just the accent, because you could sound a bit stupid with accent if you talk like this, right? Almost sounded, you do it like that, you almost sound like Asian. But you could be really dumb and not know what you're talking about, but no, it's not the voice, because people are, it's the accent that's the elegance. No, it's not that. All right, you can have an accent and sound like a fucking retard, okay? the way the way that they're put together, they're more proper. All right, they speak, they speak more fluently. Okay, it's not just that they make them sound smart. It's not that they're making them sound smart. They are smart. Okay, they are smart, and it's not that it's not a perception. All right, it's just how they are. They're more even mannered. They're well mannered. They're well kept. Okay, you see more Edomites out here looking and dressing around and walking around like bums than you see English, all right, folk. Okay, they you got the ones that are looking kind of raggedy, but not like you see out here. Okay, so America is special in its stupidity, it's special in its wickedness, and in turn it's special in its destruction. Okay, so knowing that this place is going to be destroyed, there's some things that we should keep in consideration, right? And this is 2 Peter 3:10 through 13, and I want to go ahead and get it. And it says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night." Now, we're going to pause right there. When a thief comes and robs you, you don't know that they were going to come there, right? You had no idea, all right? There's another scripture that talks about if you had known, you would have, kept watch. And that's absolutely true, had you known, all right, you would have kept watch, okay? And then you wouldn't have got robbed, but you didn't, okay? "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." Now, they're going to be melting because this place, America, Babylon, there's also going to be, it's also going to happen to Israel, all right, is going to be, destroyed with nuclear fire, okay? Destroyed with nuclear fire, all right? ICBMs, all right? Intercontinental ballistic missiles. It says, "The earth also and the works there that are therein shall be burned up." Now, a lot of people misinterpret this and say, the whole earth is going to be, destroyed. No, that's where they got the idea of, Armageddon as they know it, which in the Hebrew tongue is Armageddon. No, this place is going to be burned up. And again, earth or world can not just be entitled to literally the whole earth burning up, all right, but the world's going to be in a disarray, okay? You're going to have Babylon and Israel that are actually burning up, all right? You're going to have other places that are going to be hitting with, and mind you, it's not just America where the judgment's coming. There's going to be judgment coming upon everywhere, but America's got a special judgment coming to it, okay? Other places are going to be hit with earthquakes, horrible earthquakes, 30.5 magnitude earthquake type shit, right? And that you've never heard of, like huge things. There's we don't know all what's in store, right? They've been keeping eyes on these asteroids, all right, that have been floating around up in space. You don't know if one of those asteroids hits, all right, and wipes out the entirety of East Africa or the whole continent of Africa itself. We don't know, right? We don't know necessarily what the Lord has in store as far as, we know some things, but we don't know exactly, every single detail of, there's going to be a tsunami that's this big that happens in Japan, and then there's going to be a meteorite that hits, or asteroid that hits over here in East Asia, and that's what's going to take out that part. No, we know that there will be things like tsunamis going on and hurricanes. We do know that America, aka Babylon, or Babylon the Great, aka America, because it's known as America when it's really Babylon, or North Country. You'll hear it mentioned in different tones throughout the Bible. We know that that place, all right, this place, as well as Israel, is going to be destroyed. All right, but we can't tell you all the nuances. We can't tell you how many people are going to be running through the street in Times Square. We can't tell you all these different, those. You can't tell you that. We can't say that. Oh, your boss Jimmy, he's going to be there, and you're going to see him on a screen. We don't know that. All right, but we know that it's going to be destroyed. We know this place is going to be judged with a hefty judgment. All right, and we know it's going to be done at the hands of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, so we, all right, knowing these things, have to act a certain type of way, right? In verse 12, it says, "Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." Salakia, I missed 11. Salakia. In 11, it says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversations and godliness? So knowing that these things are going to happen, knowing that there's going to be a great destruction that comes, in time, and we're very, very close to it. All right, it ain't looking like we got no 10 years, no 8 years, no 6 years. Okay, we don't put times on it, but we've been speculating that within the next couple of years, man, it's gonna be gotten. Okay, this place is gonna get got. Okay, and knowing that, what type of person should you be? Okay, should you be a wicked person, or should you try to be being a godly person? Okay, should you be being a proud person, or should you be trying to be a humble person? Okay, no, obviously you should try to be a good person, be humble, right, and serving Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So it says in verse 12, looking for and hastening on the coming of the day of Yahweh. So that's what we're doing. We're looking and hastening. What was it? I don't remember if it was the last year, because I believe this year was deemed the hopeful year of the destruction and judgment of Esau, I believe. Salakia. My brother can put it in the comments if he's there. But I believe the year before that was, the hastening unto the coming of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, I believe. Or it might have been the previous year before that. But that's what we're doing. We're hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, and haste is quickened. So we're hoping for the quickness. Okay, we're hoping for a quickness, and because we don't want to be stuck around in this place. We don't want to die here, all right? We want to get out in the chariots, all right? We don't, you don't want to be around. What, you want to die? We don't want to die, all right? What we want is we want the Lord to come back and want to get on those chariots and get the hell out of here, okay? In a good light and narrowly avoid the destruction, all right, while still being able to see it, all right? Like it says, only with your eyes shall you witness the destruction, all right, or the judgment, right? Roughly paraphrasing. So we're hoping to only see it with our eyes, all right? We don't want to feel it with our flesh. In 13, it says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And we just got, some of these scriptures, 11 through 13, I believe, just the other day. And, yeah, man, so we're trying to get the fuck out of this place. We hate this place. And, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. So, and this is just a shorter little lesson, by the way, today. Maybe a little 20 minute or 15, 20 minute but because it's a prologue. But, we all have things here that we like, all right? As far as, we might have a shirt we like, right? And that's what I mean by that, all right? You might have a shirt you like, all right? You might, really be enjoying football. You like the football season, right? You might have video games or certain, a car or whatever. We have things that we like here, right? It's not something that, should be holding us back, all right, from joining. I have a collection of many things. I have a collection of VHSs, like a collection of fragrance collection, colognes, because I'm really into that. Video games, all right, collections. But at the end of the day, all right, Lord willing, I have to say this because, you always got to say Lord willing. You don't say, 100%. I would like to think that I would. If Yahushua came down right now and said, hey, get rid of all these things and come with me, I would absolutely do so. All right, Lord willing. Now, I say Lord willing because you can't say you just do it. Well, I could say, yeah, I would do that. But at the end of the day, I have to say Lord willing, okay? Because the Lord knows who we truly are at the end of the day. And now I'd like to think that I would, all right? And I think that I would. Yes, I think that I would say, I don't need those things. I'll come with you, Lord. But I say Lord willing because at the end of the day, that's not really something I can say I would or wouldn't do. I would think that I wouldn't. I would hope that I wouldn't, all right? But at the end of the day, this is the Lord's movie and not mine, all right? But knowing the type of person I am, I'd hope, right, that I would be. I could say right now, I'd drop it, right? But it's just like the same way we can't say, I'd never take that mark of the beast. We have to say, Lord willing, we wouldn't, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's not until that day that you'll really know. Or there's some people that are saying, I'm not going to take it, and then the end days they end up taking it, all right? So that's something that the Lord willing, we don't take it, all right? So Lord willing, if if Yahushua showed up and knocked on my door right now, but boom, 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 all right, hey, sell all the things you got or get rid of them, you're coming with me, all right? Or we're going to go. I'd like to think like, oh yeah, I don't even need those things. All right, I don't need to sell them or anything. That can go. I got bigger and better things to move on with right now, right? So, well, the problem is when, a lot of time you get attached to things here, and it might not necessarily be, an item. It could be people, it could be places, it could be buildings, it could be anything. There's, you get attached to, that hiking trail that you constantly go on or something, or you get addicted to certain, worldly things and worldly concepts that really don't matter when you really shouldn't be, because this place is going to be, completely destroyed. And again, that doesn't mean that you can't have a nail polish collection, you can't have a fragrance collection, you can't have a wardrobe of clothes or something. I mean, you're making money here, and you're not just gonna just let it build for no reason, because you can't build in this place. You're not supposed to build in this place. Build yourself up in this place. I'm gonna build a big mansion, and I'm gonna have this and that, and I'm gonna save up, $30 or $300,000. I'm gonna do. Look, man, you're better off just, are your bills paid? Go and take a vacation. Right? Don't just let the money sit there. All right? We ain't got the time like that. All right? There's people that just like hoard money to hoard it. All right? And it's Edomites that be doing that. Jake, we be spending our money. All right? These all be sitting on $70K, like, and then they end up dying with a whole bunch of money, and they never even got to use it, and their whole life was boring. All they did was work 60 hours a week. Right? You didn't even have nothing. I mean, spend. Don't be stupid with your money. All right. Again, I'm not a financial consultant, so I mean, I'm not liable for anything. I'm not giving you advice. I'm just saying, I'm just rattling off the top of my head. I wouldn't. All right. I'd go personally and go and make sure my bills are paid, make sure all this, have a little bit of money, and then if I have extra money, keep a little bit for a nest egg, sure, right? If the shit hits the fan, fun. But other than that, I mean, if you got excess $30, $40, $50,000, I mean, you saving up to buy a car, like, what are you doing with that? Go take a little vacation. You can get a good vacation for about $1,000. All right, you can go to the state over. All right, go take your wife out. Go and get your kids with you too. You can go to a museum, or you can do that for even cheaper than $1,000. All right, go to a museum. Go and eat some good food. All right, go to a beach, or do something, because, it's hoarding shit, really, all that's going to just go away. It's all going to go away, all right? And like I said, you have to understand that it's not inherently wicked to have a collection of something, but you can't let it get in the way of your faith, and of Yahweh Shemel Shai. It can't become a stumbling block into you. You can't ever, value those things more over the Lord and want those things more, all right? Because those don't mean shit at the end of the day. All the things that I have, I know don't really mean shit at the end of the day, okay? Would it suck if we lost them? Yeah, all right? We wouldn't want to, but if we're on their way out, it's not, it would suck if we lost them now, okay? Say if all my, I don't really be watching the VHS class. Say if all my games got deleted, I'm like, dang, because I was gonna play some of those, Lord willing, right? But if we're on our way out, I'm not gonna worry about the game. I'm not gonna be playing those games anymore, right? Those video games. I'm on to bigger and better things, baby, right? I ain't gotta think about hanging around with a video game, all right, or my cologne collection or anything like that. Because I mean, I'm sure we're gonna have something that smells way better. We'll probably know how to be having baths with bergamot, all right, and lime and all these different things, and we'll just smell good all day without and I'm sure fragrance is something, fragrance, things that are Jake's really into fragrance, whether it be spraying on it or in the air. Lord, and it was into incense and the frankincense and the myrrh. Right, and so Jake likes smelling good, and they like smelling things that smell good. All right, we don't like stinking, so I'm sure we'll have something like that there. All right, and video games. Why are we going to need something of that little entertainment when, here's the thing: rich people. If you look, I watched documentaries. Rich people don't be playing video games or watching TV because there's so many other things to do. All right, there's so many other things to do. Right, so you don't really even need those things. So we're not going to be worried about those things, video games and stuff. And we might even have something that's like a video game in the kingdom anyway, because we're going to be highly technological. And it's going to be better than what we have here, right? Like, you ain't going to be playing the game. Sorry, can't go any further. Need the DLC. That's stupid. Need the DLC that released on the same day, all right? Now, DLC's fine, right? There's some good DLC from back in the day with video games, Knights of the Nine and Shivering Isles with Elder Scrolls and shit. But at the end of the day, now those things came out months after. They gave you time to beat the game, and then those things came after. Nowadays, it'll be like brand new Assassin's Creed and get the DLC. Why is there DLC? The game just got released. This is shit you took out of the game and set aside. That's like if I was like, here's this apple, and then you went to buy it, and I cut it in half. I'm like, you want the other half? Only $5.99. Well, that was just part of the apple. Let me get the whole apple. No. That's a bonus part of the apple. Like, that's just robbery. Nobody wants that. And that's what this place does. So, nothing here. I mean, you go and get a vehicle, the shit don't run, it has issues. You go in to fix it, they fuck up your car when they go and fix it. You go in to do this, you put the gas in, the gas is bad, it runs out. You go and get some more gas, you run out of money. It's everything here sucks. It's bad. Matthew 6:19, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. That's the other thing. They could break, all right? You have a video game system, it can break, dust gets in it some type of crazy way, or something happens, an electrical surge and it breaks, all right? Or if someone comes to your house and steals it. None of these things are permanent. They're just temporary bullshit. So don't try to make something permanent out of something temporary. Don't give away something eternal for something temporary, okay? Don't give up, the Lord, all right, for something so fucking meaningless, okay? Matthew 6:20, because all this is going to be destroyed. It don't matter what you have. All right, my cologne collection, your Hot Wheels collection. I don't know what the fuck people be having, but all your art that you've made, or the custom Jordans you made, or anything. Guess what? My stuff, your stuff, it's all going away. It's all gonna burn up. All right, in Babylon, it's all gonna go away. I'm sitting in this parking lot out in this in this area, about to go into a store, some stores, Lord willing. I can name some stores that I see. Ross. That's going to go away. Michael's going to go away. Okay? Five Below and Claire's going to go away. Going to go away. Cox Internet is going to go away. H&R Block's going to go away. It's all going to go away. They're not going to be here. You're not going to be in the kingdom hearing about Michael's or Ross. Okay? Or H&R Block. They're all going to go away. And everything in that store is going to go away. And if you went in there and bought something from those stores, it's going to go away. And whatever I go out, and if I buy anything from these stores tonight, that's all going to go away, all right? The clothes that I'm wearing right now are going to go away. The car that I'm sitting in is going to go away. The phone that I'm making this lesson on is going to go away. This King James Bible Online is going to go away. The 5G that's powering this internet right now is going to go away. So there's no reason holding on to some things that are just going to go away, okay? Verse 21 says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And a lot of people, again, they lay into the treasure, and that's where their heart is, because they care more about their possessions than they do Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? You got to think about the parable about the rich man. All right? For he had many possessions. We got to go up from verse 20. Okay, we'll just start from 20 because it gets the point. Yahushua was talking to this young man, okay? And it says in verse 20, the young man, Matthew 19:20, the young man saith unto him, all these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? Said, look, Lord, I've had all these things. Look at all these things I've got. I've had them, from my youth all the way up. Look at all these things I've gathered. Yahushua said unto him, if thou will be perfect. So he's saying, if you want to be perfect, okay, if you want to, and not perfect like the Lord is, but if you want to be, doing even better, all right, and be perfect in the way that you're doing things, all right, and strive for perfection, then what? Go and sell that thou hast and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. And that perfectly goes to the last scripture I got, talking about lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where moth and rust doth not break through nor steal. Okay? So, I said, go and sell these things, give it to the poor, and then come and follow me. Now, what did the rich man say? It said, 19:22, but when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful. He walked away from the Lord. He said, never mind. He went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. Okay? And right here it says, then said Yahushua unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. Because they're too worried about the stuff. My stuff, man. Right? So, and this shit don't mean nothing. Okay? You're Space Jam Jordans, all right, first edition. They don't mean shit. They don't mean a damn thing, man. You ain't gonna take them with you. You ain't gonna be rocking Jordans. Jordan, goes and Jordan's made by Nike. All right, Nike that name Nike goes back to a false god. So you can't have no Nikes. And am I wicked for wearing Nike? No, calm down, Jake. You can wear some Nikes. Okay? Good Lord. You can wear some Nikes. All right? Yes, you can wear them. But Hebrews 13:4, we don't have anything here at the end of the day. Okay? We don't have anything in this place. So it says, for here we have Hebrews 13:14, start over, because I'm stuttering and stumbling all over the place. Hebrews 13:14, for here have we no continuing city, but we seek one to come. No, there's no reason on this place shouldn't be, don't try to slow the destruction and try to elevate this place and elongate this place. Please don't. Please don't. I promise you it is not worth it. All right, we don't need to pad out this shit longer than it needs to be. Okay? This movie has already wore out its welcome. All right, we're in like the third hour of this movie thinking, God damn, it was all right at first, but shit, when is this movie going to end? God damn. And I think we've all been through a movie like that. We were watching shit like, God damn, this movie's going on. How fucking much longer do we have in this movie? An hour? We've already watched 3 hours. God damn, get to the point. And I'm not saying we're rushing the Lord. I'm just being humorous with it. And, this movie, we're to the end of the movie, we're like, oh man, we've seen enough. We've seen enough. All right, let the credits roll. Shit. All right, it's like, dang, man. If we could, we just walk out, before the credits roll. We're like, all right, well, we've had enough. All right, we're getting on these chariots and going. All right, but we don't have that. We don't have that choice. We have to wait for Yahweh and Yahushai. If we had a chariot transport situation right now, we'd all been signed up for it. We'd all try to got our tickets and been out. But that's not how things work. Okay, if that was how it worked, you wouldn't have no Apostle Har or Apostle Gabar. They would have bought their tickets and been gone. All right, they would have been out. Soon as the service over, they would have pre-ordered, right? They would have got up at 2 a.m. and stood in line. Back in Black Friday when people used to stand in line for like the previous night, had a tent. Apostles would have done that if and most of the brothers, all of us would have pretty much, right? If there was a system like that where the Lord said, oh, you can get out of here. All right, I'm on my way, Lord. I'm there right now. I'm calling out of work. They said I can't get the day off. I don't even care. Fuck it. I'm coming down anyway. They can fire my ass. I'm getting those tickets, Lord willing. Right? But we don't have that. So we have to, the Lord's long-suffering unto us, so we have to be long-suffering unto him. So we have to just wait and, suffer in silence, as they say. Well, not necessarily in silence, because we can complain about it through making these lessons. But, yeah, man, we hate this place, all right? And it's going to be destroyed. And that's why this is the prologue. This place is going to be destroyed. There's nothing to be sorrowful. There's no reason to mourn for this place or get teary-eyed or weep or think about... Look, your house that you're living in right now is built like shit. I know it is. I know it's built like shit. It's probably got a creaky-ass fucking floor that you walk by, and every time you go by, you're... All right? There's probably, the fucking weird doorway that you always stub your goddamn toe on. Probably got tile fucking cracking throughout the house somewhere. The grout's all fucked up. Probably got that one window with a draft in it. Right? If you got somewhere some bricks crumbling, all right, the what do they call that shit? The shackling on the house, some of it's fucked up. You got a widowmaker up there or something, all right? Or the pipes or something's wrong with the shower. Now, I know you got some shit going on in the house, all right? I know that house ain't perfect, all right? I know that house ain't perfect, and I know your car can get you from places, but it's got some issue. If it runs normal, I bet it eats gas like a motherfucker. All right? I bet it eats gas like a motherfucker. All right? And if it don't eat gas because you're driving an electrical vehicle, but I bet you hate having to sit and charge that motherfucker for hours. All right, I bet you can find gripes, man. I'm not saying to be negative, but we sugarcoat things a lot. All right, in our lives. Okay, not in this ministry, but in this life. Oh, it's all right. It's if you really think about it, royalty would never settle for something of that matter, right? They would never have it. So all the shit we have really is shit. All right, we're blessed to have it. Call all Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, we have it. But the vehicles and all the stuff in America, it's everything, even outside of America, it's all built bad. It's all going to break or be stolen anyway. So what's the point? All right? What's the point? So, in Luke 12:33, like it says, sell that ye have and give alms, provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. So that's what we should be doing. All right, we're looking for treasure in heavens. That like it says, that faileth not. The treasure in heavens don't fail. Oop. And Ephesians, where were we? I think it was like Ephesians 6 and 14, I think. Where were we? But yeah, man, so look, this place, at the end of the day, it ain't worth nothing. It ain't worth nothing. We're thankful for what we have, but it's not quality. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is quality. This truth is quality. This world is not. And then, I think I was just going to get Ephesians 6 and 10. Because that's how we have to be here going through all this, right? Ephesians 6 and 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, not against, physical people. We ain't somebody jumping out and trying to hit us. Now, somebody might try to do that, but that's not what we wrestle with on a daily basis. It says, but against principalities. Principalities is a rulership system, right? Against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The workings and the wickedness and evils of Esau. All right? That's what we have to, battle with on a day-to-day basis. So, there's no reason to stay here. There's no worth of this place. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that you may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh. It says, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. So there you go. So we got to stay prayed up. We got to stay, keep our eye on the prize here. All right, and not be, dumbed down and thinking about, staying around in this place. Okay, and we got to stay armored up, and it mentions all the armor pieces. All right, you can't run into a battle. Here it is. You have a chest plate, but you forgot your helmet, and they dome your ass, right across the side of your head. Or you can't wear a helmet, and here they get you in the chest. All right, but you had a helmet on. You had the gloves. All right, the bracers. All right, the leg gear, the boots. All right, the greaves, as they call them. All right, but you forgot your chest plate. All right, your cuirass. All right, your cuirass, as they say. You forgot that, and so they just got you in your gut, or they got you in the heart, right? Or you have everything else on, but you forgot your gloves, and they chop your damn hand off. All right, so you got to make sure you're fully armored up in this place, understanding what's going to happen in this place, what's going on, praying to the Lord. All right, and being grateful to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? So that's what we got for today. That's where we're going to close it out. All right, again, this was titled Prologue, the Destruction of Babylon. Lord, when it was edifying, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.